Hey guys, welcome back to another Ghost Reacts, and today we are doing something a bit different. Today we are doing well, not different, it's just different style of video for the person we're watching, TPM vids as we normally do, but it's Disney and Universal Park this time. It's both their theme parks at war together, the rise of the immersive lands. So without further ado, I'm just going to get straight into it today. Yeah.
Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel and like what you
Same over
see,
here.
hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. You can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.
Here we go.
For decades, there has always been this Universal versus Disney debate. They're big competitors since they are the two major theme park companies in the United States. In the 2010s,
I've been there,
Disney
so sick.
and Universal went through what could be called the immersive land renaissance. But how exactly did they get there? Disney and Universal's theme park war has a long history that really shaped the industry into what it is today. Many people argue that if it wasn't for Universal Studios and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Disney theme parks would look a lot different today. But is that really true?
We'd like to know what you're doing on that data pad.
Harry Potter did almost end up at Magic Kingdom, which could have changed things a lot. So this is the story of the battle to the rise of the immersive lands.
This summer, bring your family to Epcot Center, Walt Disney World in Florida.
The Disney and Universal war started back in the 1980s, when Universal wanted to build a studio tour park in Florida. While looking for finance partners, they pitched their ideas to Paramount CEO Michael Eisner.
Disney,
he passed on the project, but when he stepped into the new role as Disney CEO in 1984, he kept Universal's plan in his back pocket. In 1985, Disney announced they would be building their own movie studio tour park in Florida, called Disney MGM Studios. Universal could not believe Disney just stole their idea. So after a bit of reworking, Universal announced their East Coast version of the movie studio park in December of 1986, with the plan to have it open by December of 1989. The Florida Tourism Board estimated that by the end of the decade, the number of tourists coming into Central Florida would grow by 4 to 6% every year. There was definitely room for competition, but Michael Eisner was determined to have MGM Studios open before Universal Studios. Crews worked day and night, and after some delays, Disney MGM Studios officially opened on May 1st, 1989. Up the road, Universal Studios was still building their theme park, but Disney didn't really win the battle. The public sentiment with Disney MGM Studios was that it felt incomplete. The park opened without many attractions, like Star Tours and the Indiana Jones stunt show. Not to mention that it was much smaller than Disney's other parks. Universal Studios really had a chance to come out on top.
Not many people get that
We're really
idea.
happy to be here in Florida, and we'll be here forever. Thank you.
But when the park opened on June 7th, 1990, it was far from perfect. Rides like Jaws and Earthquake weren't operational, and King Kong was barely open. That's 3 out of the 5 rides. These problems kept a lot of locals and tourists away from the park in its first operating year. Disney was winning this theme park war. Despite the initial lukewarm response, Disney MGM Studios continued to draw crowds. But it wasn't long before Universal Studios found its groove and started making subtle jabs at Disney.
If you get a chance,
On your next vacation, don't miss the world's premier movie attraction, Universal Studios Florida. You'll face the fury of King Kong. Join the Ghostbusters. Nickelodeon in action. More movie production than at any studio in Florida. Go back to the future. Don't settle for an imitation.
The Simpsons
Come to
land there now
Universal
is so
Studios
cool.
in Orlando, the only place on Earth where you can.
Into the mid-90s, the Orlando theme parks were booming, and attendance at both resorts continued to grow. In 1998, Disney would open Animal Kingdom, and in 1999, Universal would open Islands of Adventure. Both took theming in a direction that hadn't really been seen before at any of the other parks.
I've been to this area. Like there's not many attractions there, but the lands are so well created. It's created. The amount of stuff they can put off over there is so cool.
They were testing the waters with more immersive environments. While millions of people were being entertained by the African village of Harambe and the myths of the lost continent, people from all across the world were flocking to bookshops, trying to get their hands on the latest Harry Potter novels.
I like the book so much, I just wanted to come as soon as it was out to see if I could get it right away.
The book series was turning into a cultural phenomenon, and it wasn't long before J.K. Rowling sold the movie rights to Warner Brothers. In 2001, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was released in theaters, and the Harry Potter franchise became even more popular with the film's success. It was pure Pottermania. Harry Potter was on Disney and Universal's radar, and they both approached J.K. Rowling to secure the theme park rights. After much deliberation, J.K. Rowling ended up going with Disney, since they were the gold standard when it came to theme parks. In 2003, Rowling signed a letter of intent with Disney. A letter of intent is a document declaring the preliminary commitment of one party to do business with another, outlining the terms of a prospective deal. With this in place, Walt Disney Imagineering began working on a way to incorporate the magical world of Harry Potter into Magic Kingdom.
I really don't like. They probably would have. It wouldn't have been the mass phenomenon that Harry Potter is now if Disney would have had it. I don't think. I reckon they would have dialed it back so much to what it is now. Like, it would be so much different. So different. Oh, I'm so glad they didn't get it. But I want to see the designs. I don't feel that's why I paused it now, because it's just before they're showing. There might be some designs coming up, so I didn't want to. I wanted to say some stuff beforehand because I really don't feel like they would have done a good job on it. Let's see if there's any designs.
A franchise like Harry Potter is built heavily on nostalgia. The Disney theme parks also thrive on nostalgia, so the partnership would be great for business. According to Disney historian Jim Hill, Disney was planning a small Harry Potter section in Fantasyland, where Ariel's Grotto and Storybook Circus are today. There was supposed to be two attractions. One was an Omnimover dark ride that took you through a dark arts teaching class. It would be like Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, but with a wand instead of a laser blaster. The other was a Care of Magical Creatures petting zoo, which...
See, with that, the first one, if they make it, I saw this the other day, Japan or somewhere, I can't remember it, like Disney Sea, if that's in Japan, I think. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's where it is. They have a Monsters Inc. ride that's interactive. That's very similar to the way they built the Toy Story ride with the Zerg Zapper game we just saw on the screen. But they done it so better. Like, the area that you're given is massive, it's so interactive. Or everything is like a massive, it's like a dark ride mixed with a interactive ride all in one. It is sick. If you do that, if they did that for the Harry Potter, then yeah, it might have been bigger than now, but they haven't. They weren't even planning on doing that. They were planning to make it similar to the Buzz Lightyear ride by the looks of it, and a petting zoo as we're about to see right now.
Which was an interactive meet and greet with a hippogriff. There would also be a small Leaky Cauldron quick service restaurant and a shop. It didn't sound all too exciting, but it was along the scope of what Disney was building at the time. Their success lied in these broad lands that acted as framework for many different stories and experiences. When Disney showed J.K. Rowling their plans, apparently she was less than impressed.
Now that's
exactly
rubbish.
good.
She wanted more control over the project.
She wasn't happy with it.
Now, Disney had a history of collaborating with other creatives like George Lucas and Jim Henson, and it was just that, a collaborative effort. Disney was not willing to give up full creative control to Rowling. Now, in 2005, Bob Iger became CEO of the Walt Disney Company, and he got wind of these issues with J.K. Rowling. Jim Hill cites Rowling's demands as fiscally irresponsible and an operational nightmare. One of Bob Iger's first orders of business was to do whatever he could to renew Disney's agreement with Pixar Animation Studios. The whole Potter situation was taking up too many resources,
They moved over to
and that
Pixar.
time and energy could be put into something else, like acquiring Pixar, which already had a large presence in the Disney parks.
A better choice, in my opinion, for them, because look what they've done with that. I think everything that happened for a reason, so I feel like what happened was a good thing. The reason why she wasn't happy and what happened, I feel like it all happened for a good reason.
So, in late 2005, Iger terminated the agreement with Rowling, and she immediately began talks with Universal. Mind you, this was all done in secret, and the rumor mill was still under the impression Disney had the theme park rights, which they didn't. They did, however, already have the theme park rights to Pixar. Iger's complete purchase of the animation company in 2006 was far more lucrative at the time. Pixar would go on to change Disney's theme park landscape in a massive way.
See? Right.
By the mid-2000s,
that was a good thing.
Things were
That all
becoming
happened for
a bit
good thing.
stale
Look,
at the
they're
Universal
completely
Orlando
different.
Resort. The parks kept seeing a gradual decline in attendance, especially at Islands of Adventure.
'cause
Universal
there wasn't
wasn't
much
really
there.
investing any money into their parks because
There's not
they
much
were in
there.
talks with J.K. Rowling. These were some of the preliminary sketches Universal Creative came up with to pitch their ideas for Harry Potter. They tried to incorporate it.
See that there? Compare that to what we've got now. Like, it's worlds apart. That looks so bad. And too small, because it's Harry Potter. Bloody hell, look how big it is. You need it big. Look how small that is. You're gonna get nowhere with that.
As many of the original structures from the Lost Continent as possible, like the Enchanted Oak restaurant and the entrance of dueling dragons. The only issue is that it didn't really transport you into the Harry Potter world as J.K. Rowling envisioned. She wanted guests to be fully immersed into the environments from the
Exactly.
films. Universal was more than willing to give her the creative
How it should
control
be.
Disney wasn't. But taking on a project of this size would be a massive financial risk. Universal needed something really big to draw crowds. But they didn't know if Harry Potter would be the success they were looking for. As they say, with great risk comes great reward.
We are adding a new dimension to the world of Harry Potter and bringing it to life in an entirely new way.
I'm so
we
happy
are
they got
creating
it.
the wizarding world of Harry Potter. It's actually a huge undertaking. It will be a theme park within a theme park.
On Thursday, May 31st, 2007, Universal Studios announced the Wizarding World of Harry Potter would be coming to Universal's Islands of Adventure. The new
2009.
immersive land would cover 20 acres and would cost a whopping $500 million.
I went there the year
The
after
concept
it
art
opened.
looked truly magical, and the scale was unlike anything Disney had ever done. It was an authentic
think
extension
it
of the
opened
Harry Potter
in
world,
2010.
where you would be able to explore so many magical locations from the
It was
books
so
and
sick.
films. Universal execs were confident that Harry Potter would make
I wanna go
Universal a
back.
must-see component
So
to
bad, I wanna go
anyone's
back.
Orlando theme park vacation. The future was looking bright. Now, while Universal's creative team were putting final touches on the land's design, Walt Disney Imagineering were finalizing their designs for a massive reimagining of Disney California Adventure.
Yeah,
the
what did they
park
do?
was not living up to people's expectations, so Disney's mission was to make the park more Disney. One new area
yeah, they
being
turned it into
proposed
Pixar
was
Pier,
called
didn't they?
Carland, and it would be dedicated to California's love of car culture. Doing what Disney does best, Carland was a broad land. Ironically, it actually started with no Disney characters at all. Then some were worked in, which included a section based on the Cars film. By summer of 2007, Imagineers pitched a final design with Cruise Street as the main street and Radiator Springs Racers in the back. It was still a hodgepodge of ideas, so John Lasseter, who was the Pixar chief and Imagineering
Yes.
advisor, suggested they turn the
This is the guy. This is the reason we have a Pixar company. This is the guy. This is the reason why we have Toy Story, Monsters Inc., etc. This is the guy, man. He's such a genius.
12-acre car land into Cars Land and fully build Radiator Springs. The 2006 film Cars was a box office hit, and this idea would bring more characters
love
into
this
the
film.
park. Just a couple months earlier, Universal revealed their plans for Potter. So if Universal could handle a massive immersive land, then surely Disney could as well. In October of 2007, Disney announced their plans for Cars Land, which was part of the $1 billion reimagining of Disney California Adventure. They were really banking on this reimagining to increase attendance, which was only sitting at around 5.5 million people per year. This was compared to Disneyland's almost 15 million attendance. There was a lot riding on the transformation, so crews got right to work.
Yes, right. Here we go.
Back in Orlando, Florida, construction began on the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in January of 2008, and Walt Disney World was quiet as a mouse. It seemed like they had no plans to create something in response to Universal's expansion. It wasn't until September of 2009 when Disney announced the Fantasyland expansion for Magic Kingdom. It was set to open in phases between 2012 and 2013, with construction beginning in March of 2010. Just a few months before the Wizarding World of Harry Potter was set to open at Islands of Adventure.
Coming this spring, you can truly be part of Harry
I remember
Potter's
this ad.
world,
Oh my
where
god.
magic becomes real.
I remember
and
this ad.
excitement awaits at every turn.
I got so excited when I saw this ad.
Explore the wizarding world of Harry Potter. A world of magical new adventures only at Universal Orlando Resort.
Universal was pulling out all the stops, airing a 30-second commercial during the 2010 Super Bowl.
Nostalgia.
It was $3 million well spent. Harry Potter fans were giving the CGI version of Hogsmeade their stamp of approval. And there was a lot to be excited about. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter was really shaping up to be Orlando's newest must-see attraction.
Big news out of Universal Studios Orlando and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
That's right, Harry Potter himself, actor Daniel Radcliffe, showed up for the opening ceremonies last night.
Yeah, they were there.
A whistle
That really
and the
bugged
curtain
me
would
as
come
well.
down.
I could have seen them, man.
Very good.
On June 18th, 2010, thousands of fans lined up through Universal City Walk,
So he told you
hoping to check
2010, I
out the
went a
new
year
land.
after.
Exciting, yes. I think it's epic. It's definitely like history in the making right now, like with like the opening day and just the things that are going on. So
It was safe to say
She
the
looked
Wizarding World
crazy.
of Harry Potter was one of the biggest
Did you see
theme
that?
park events of the
Our eyes
decade.
open.
The level of detail just transported you right into the world of the Harry Potter films. From Hogsmeade Village to the Hogwarts Castle and the Forbidden Forest. The Three Broomsticks restaurant in the theme park actually inspired the interior design of the restaurant in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood
So
Prince.
beautiful, man.
Universal Studios had never seen anything this detailed. Then there was Harry Potter
It's
and the
even
Forbidden
bigger now.
Journey, which was the talk of the town. This state-of-the-art
I couldn't even go
attraction
on this
used
one.
new technology never seen before in a theme park ride. You were really living your own Harry Potter fantasy. Critics had nothing but positive things to say, and Harry Potter was creating such a buzz with people of all ages. Just up the road, Disney definitely took note, and you could say they were worried. See,
Yeah,
the new
I would be
Fantasyland
too,
expansion
if I
was
was
going to
them.
be Disney's biggest addition, but it was very princess heavy. It didn't have the broad appeal like Harry Potter did. It wasn't long before rumors started circulating about a shakeup to the new Fantasyland expansion plans. In August of 2010, Disney admitted they were looking for a way to balance the expansion to appeal to a broader audience. When they announced the addition of the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in January of 2011, it was too late to compete with Harry Potter at this point. Over at Islands of Adventure, they had already seen attendance rise from 4.5 million in 2009 to
bloody hell.
5.9 million in 2010, and then
Disney wouldn't have been able to do this.
7.67 million in 2011.
They
Not
would
to
have
mention
ruined
all
it.
that sweet revenue from butterbeer sales. Universal was raking it
That
in, and
is so
Harry
nice
Potter
as
was
well.
exactly what the
You
resort
have to
needed.
have one when you go
People
through.
from all around the world were coming to Universal Studios. It was proof that a large-scale immersive land based on a single franchise could be successful.
Right.
As Universal was
Universal.
capturing a bigger piece of the Orlando theme park market, Disney realized they really needed a powerhouse IP to compete, and that's when they turned to Avatar. The 2009 film was the highest-grossing film of all time. So, in September of 2011, Disney announced a partnership with James Cameron to bring an Avatar-themed land to Walt Disney World. It was a really exciting announcement, but it was kind of premature since nothing was planned yet. Construction on Avatar wasn't set to begin until 2013, with the land hopefully opening in 2016. Once again, Universal Studios got the last laugh because in December, they announced an expansion for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. They would be building Diagon Alley at Universal Studios Florida, which was set to open in 2014, and they would also be building a version of Hogsmeade at Universal Studios Hollywood, set to open in 2016. So if Walt Disney World's Avatar plans actually followed the proposed timeline, they would still open years after Universal's second Harry Potter land in Florida. At least the Disneyland resort was faring much better with Cars Land. Construction was really moving along, and things were looking very promising.
Hey, Lightning, when are the folks coming?
Really soon. Why are you whispering?
Because this whole place is super duper top secret. Hey, what's that button do? Meter! Holy spark plug! This place is cool!
A whole new land is opening June 15th at Disney California Adventure Park. Test drive Radiator Springs Racers, Luigi's Flying Tires, and more. Cars Land. Get ready to be floored.
So much stuff has opened since I've been.
We're good. Nobody saw that.
So
on June 15th, 2012, Buena Vista Street in Cars Land officially opened, completing the 5-year transformation of Disney California Adventure. The reviews were in, and Cars Land was on the same grand scale as the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Walking down Route 66 and seeing the Cadillac mountain range was a sight right out of the movie. Everything was extremely detailed, from top to bottom, and it was full of so many kinetics. Cars Land was alive, and it had a lot to offer the entire family. Radiator Springs Racers was a state-of-the-art thrill ride that really had you holding on to your seat. It was fast, fun, and a quintessential Disney experience. People couldn't get enough of it. Disney California Adventure saw attendance rise from 6.3 million in 2011 to a whopping 8.5 million in 2013 for the first full year of Cars Land being opened. Cars Land probably wouldn't have had the same effect. Theme park fans were yearning for these experiences where they could explore the worlds from their favorite films. The power of these immersive lands were proven to be a huge success, financially and with attendance. Now, people are eager to say the Wizarding World of Harry Potter set a new standard for the theme park industry, which it did, but Cars Land also deserves credit. When the reimagining of Disney California Adventure was announced, Disney had all the plans, including Cars Land, already set in stone. They just chose to work on other projects first, like the reimagining of Paradise Pier. Cars Land could have easily been their first project, with it opening around the same time as Harry Potter. But they didn't do that. Disney wanted Cars Land to be the icing on the cake, completing the multi-year transformation. When we look at both lands, each pushed the boundaries of what had been done in other parks. They were extremely innovative, with a high degree of attention to detail, and they both told a story that connected with every guest. So yes, Universal got their product into the market first, but Disney wasn't far behind. Pandora: The World of Avatar was Walt Disney World's official response to Harry Potter, and when it opened in 2017, it was unlike anything Walt Disney Imagineering had ever created. It may have been a few years too late, but Disney caught up to Universal. The immersive land renaissance was in full swing. It completely changed the theme park landscape, taking theming to a whole new level. But if Harry Potter ended up at Disney, would there still have been this immersive land boom? Would Cars Land have been the single vehicle to propel the trend forward? We'll never know for sure, but this competition between Disney and Universal is great for business.
The video today, if you, what's it? the war that they're on, it's spectacular. If I'm gonna say it, because it's so much different. It's so, it's different so different. I want to go back so much. If you, I would love to know if you've been. If you've been, what is your favourite ride at any of these lands? But let me know down in the comments on those. If you like this type of content, please smash the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please smash the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to be notified when I'm doing an upload like this. For future references, like exactly for this Saturday as well, because I've got a video that is coming out on Saturday. That is the start of something new for this channel. It's another game, but you know, it's a new game. But hopefully 10 times better than what I've done before. So until next time, I will see you then. Goodbye.